All right. So let's hop into it. I think we've got enough people here. We'll let the stragglers just hop in as they always do. But let's get moving. So it's April 28th, and this is going to be the wrap up of referral prospecting, right? That was the theme for the month, and had some hiccups with this one. You know, some personal, professional hiccups. This got drawn out a couple months rather than one, but really do like these monthly themes, and really excited about where we're going with that this month, which we can get to a little bit on the front end of this, but we'll dig in more on the tail end with what's happening with changes to the format of this lunch and learn going forward, which is really exciting. So who am I? Why should you care? We do this every week. Really check out BizNexus. That's a platform for intermediary listings for the most part. So if you're a buyer and you're looking for deal flow and you're looking to get matched with an intermediary, or if you're looking to connect with intermediary backed deals and submit inquiries, and that's it. That's BizNexus in a nutshell. BN.Digital is our agency that fulfills the concierge services for off-market deal origination. That is what we talk about in these lunch and learns every week in, week out. We're talking about our process, our tips, our tactics for off-market deal origination. And we're doing that in monthly themes like the one that we have this month for leveraging referral prospects to accelerate your deal origination, whether you're a buyer, a private equity shop, family office, individual buyer who's looking to reach the end business owner, or an intermediary who's just looking to get multiple engagements under contract on an ongoing basis. And the referral prospecting really lands more with intermediaries. Honestly, I think we've got some buyout firms who are, over the life of a buyout fund, when buyout funds are in acquisition mode, something like this topic will land. But really, once the capital is allocated, they stop marketing. So I think it's the intermediaries who over time benefit the most from referral marketing. So hopefully this has been a good theme for you guys. You're really the center of the BizNexus platform anyway. So give us the feedback, please, at the end of this, because again, with these monthly themes, we really want to take all the feedback that we've gotten over the course of a month, look at it, assess, and hopefully update. So updates, big one for today is really just what's going to be happening with the lunch and learn. We're going to have a new format. We are going to have a new link. I know you guys just signed up with a new link, but we are going to ask you to sign up with a new link for the next go round, and you'll get into a new, let's call it ecosystem, where we'll have the webinar, you'll have a little more collaboration, and you'll also be able to get into a workshop with homework and follow-up assignments after the fact. So in terms of implementing and walking away with value, that's what we're really trying to improve, right, constantly going forward. So not only we hopefully get some value just by sitting and listening to the webinar for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever we do on a weekly basis, but with the follow-up materials, follow-up discussion with your peers, with your colleagues, you'll be able to really implement, get some tips, and follow up with any other questions as they pop into your mind over the course of a week. We'll also have some really cool options going forward for brand promotion. So stay tuned for that. That's going live this month. So if you're interested in that, engage with the brand, engage with BizNexus, let everybody know we're still around. We have gone very light on marketing through Q1 because we've been so focused on product, and that's all coming together now. And really excited as a marketing professional to get back into wearing my marketing hat 90% of the time, as opposed to wearing a product and management hat 90% of the time, which is where I've been for the past few months. So referral prospect marketing. We've covered a lot of things over the course of really a month and a half, but referral prospect marketing should be happening across all stages of the social selling process. If you're not familiar with this graphic, go back, check out some previous lunch and learns. This is our process. This is our long game for deal origination in terms of optimizing your profile for conversion, targeting, building, nurturing, and then finally capturing and getting the proverbial cup of coffee with your end target prospect. That's everything that we talk about on a weekly basis here. So again, we've covered all phases of the social selling process, right? That should be happening. It should be on autopilot. But once you build it into your outreach and your nurturing and in your top to bottom of the funnel, this is extremely valuable. So we started off with types of referral prospects and the types of events that typically work well for referral marketing. Then we got into the outreach, the nurturing, some tips and tactics for running referral campaigns. Last week, we took a bit of a zigzag and went into a webinar, and that wound up getting really, really great reviews. I think you guys really liked that, which was awesome because that was not in the initial roadmap. And we did implement that based on your feedback. So that's exactly what we're looking for, right? So if we get something, if we get a request and we think it's relevant, we will absolutely pivot and try to incorporate that into one of these monthly themes. We did that last week. It seemed to go really well. So if you didn't see that webinar, please check it out because it's all about the value of running a webinar in the framework of a referral program, but really, running a webinar, tips and tactics, how to implement, why it's valuable. So today we are pivoting again. We're really not doing the incentive plans that we can do in the discussion. So when we invite you into our new ecosystem, you're going to be able to pop into the referral marketing workshop. You're going to have a chat. You can all talk to each other about what kind of incentive plans that you're that you've done, that you've seen work, what hasn't worked. That's going to be part of the bonus opportunity going forward. So today we're really just going to do a recap of referral prospecting at each stage of the funnel and what you should be doing. So walk away tips, walk away tactics for each stage of the funnel for the referral prospecting. Why is this important? Again, who cares about referral prospecting? As I mentioned at the beginning of this lunch and learn, I think this is most valuable for intermediaries, people who are really building out a long game, a long practice. Sure, buyout funds, you might go forever, but the fact of the matter is you get interested in marketing for a year and then you drop off. The intermediary should have this going for the duration of your career as you build your practice. Don't believe me, just go to any of these industry conferences and look at the most successful intermediaries, the old timers who just rely on referral prospecting and do very minimal marketing, or they're still marketing in the 1980s, right? But they're dependent on their referral prospect relationships, oftentimes just one good referral source. So this is very powerful. There are very few people effectively incorporating this into a digital strategy in terms of outreach and awareness. So if you can do that, you'll separate yourself from your competitors, from your colleagues, from your peers, and you will stand out. If you get a good referral relationship, it is the fastest way to fill your pipeline on an ongoing basis and fill your pipeline full of engagements that are going to be less of a headache, right? You're going to have that vote of confidence from a trusted source. You're going to be able to skip some of the diligence and the vetting that typically takes place with a seller who you have to woo and win over and offer social proof. You fast forward to the bottom of the funnel with a good referral prospect and a good referral recommendation. That's why it's so valuable. That's why we focused on it this month. So let's go through each phase here. And today we might actually stick to the 15-minute limit. I know I usually go over, but I think this is going to be short and sweet and hopefully valuable. And again, any questions, comments that you have, you can ask us in the survey that goes out after the webinar. But next time you hop into the new ecosystem, you're also going to have the opportunity to just chat about it and ask us whatever questions you want on an ongoing basis. So in the optimized stage, right? Optimizing your profile for conversion. In the framework of a referral program, your primary target as an intermediary is going to be whoever your end seller is, whoever that business is. Maybe you're a generalist, you're focused on you're industry agnostic and you're just focused on a geographic region, maybe 100 miles from wherever you're sitting today. Maybe that's your strategy. Maybe you're coast to coast HVAC. Your end prospect is your end target prospect. That's the business owner. But your referral prospect, you still need to think about that referral prospect when you're putting together your online brand, right? Your website, your LinkedIn. So do you have a nice referral partner CTA on your homepage, on your website? Do you have a separate page for your referral partners on your website, right? You're going to use that page in your outreach. You're going to use that page for retargeting. You want to know who's landing on that page because they should be enrolled in your nurturing program. So if you're going to retarget to financial advisors, right? Well, if they've landed on your referral page for financial advisors, that's low-hanging fruit. It's cheap, it's easy, you stay in front of them over time. And that's the whole game with referral partners, is staying top of mind once you've stated your value proposition. LinkedIn, do you have that website page in your feature section on LinkedIn? Do you have maybe a section in your bio? If you have the type of LinkedIn profile that I've highlighted in past lunch and learns, you guys can pop on mine and see what I do with BizNexus, right? We might have 4 intermediaries and then a description, and then 4 buyers and then a description, 4 owners and then a description. Maybe you have a section for referral partners, right? Under your brokerage practice, you list the different jobs as sections, right? In terms of what you offer for your end prospects. And maybe you have something there just for referral partners with a brief description of how you collaborate with referral partners, and then a link out to either your web page or a landing page for referral partners. But optimizing your profile, keeping in mind that if you're going to be putting campaigns together and sending these prospects to your profile, it should say something that speaks to them, to convert them, right? To get them to reach out, especially if they're thinking about, who am I going to put my client with who has a business and they're thinking of selling, and I want to run their, stock portfolio going forward. That financial advisor should be able to hop on your profile and clearly see why you're relevant and how to reach out instantly in the moment of need, right? So think about that. For targeting, for referral prospects, I'm a big fan of aiming for boutiques, right? It's just easier. It's easier to get in. You have people who are too busy to put together a referral partnership. So if you have something that's structured, that has value for them, if they don't have something in place, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go for it, right? Unless you completely drop the ball. So it's easier to get in. There's no legal department where any referral relationship has to be approved. You don't have to deal with that kind of red tape. If you're targeting companies with a low head count, that could be a solo operator, depending on, is it a legal practice? Is it an accountant? Is it a lawyer? Is it some sort of niche consultant? But once you get over 50, you're dealing with you're dealing with somebody internally who's going to have to vet the referral program, and it might be a longer process, more of a headache than it's worth for you. So if you're just starting out and you're looking to identify new referral prospects, my recommendation is you go boutique. Geography, don't be, especially if you're working for one of these franchises where you have a set area, right? You have maybe a list of zip codes where that's your territory. That's okay for business owners, but keep in mind that your referral prospects could be statewide, right? You don't know, your financial advisor referral prospect doesn't have to be in your set territory, right? Their clients do, right? But they do not. So keep that in mind. A lot of people go too narrow on their geographic focus with referral prospects. That should be wider than an owner prospect. Think about keywords, right? Because keywords not only help you find valuable referral prospects. Divorce is an ugly keyword, but that's a good example in the sense that if you're looking for attorneys who will be likely to be able to hand off an event-based referral, well, that's one. But a good keyword will not only allow you to target the valuable referral prospects more accurately, more closely, but it's also going to allow you to tailor your campaign in a much more targeted way, right? So if you're using that, I hate this keyword, but I've already started down this path, so I guess I have to stick with it. So if you're using that divorce keyword and you're targeting a consultant or a lawyer who works with divorce, then your campaign outreach can clearly reference divorce and you stand out, right? That's something that's going to convert at a much higher rate than just an attorney campaign, right? If you're speaking, if you're personalizing it, if you're making it unique with your targeting, that's where you get the results there. Building the campaign, keep it short and sweet for referral prospects. You really just want to make sure that the desired eyeballs, the end eyeballs, if you're targeting a financial advisor, you want to make sure that they see your value prop, that they see who you are and what you do. You don't want to spam them. You don't want to keep reaching out. You want to track it in a way that if they open it and they read or click, done, right? Enter that prospect into your nurture program. Maybe there's a call if they're clicking multiple times, but you don't want to just enter these referral prospects into a mindless time-based drip, right? So you want to try to resend to unopens. Maybe you have one intro email and you're just doing that with a resend chain for 3-4 events, right? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, please check the previous lunch and learns, because we do cover that. Prioritizing your channels, right? This is again why I love integrated campaigns. You want to we always start with data, where that's been our thing since day one. I think right now it's actually proving to be very valuable with a lot of the changes that have been taking places with LinkedIn and some other channels. But if you start with, and got a trash truck that's going by outside my window, so if you guys can't hear me, just ping me in the chat box, and I don't know what I'll do, but I'll adjust. So if you are prioritizing your channels, what that means is you want to be able to ideally get all the data on your prospect and then figure out how to reach out to them, right? So what we do is, depending on what's working at any given time, we like, email, we like snail mail, we like phone, we like in-mail, we like, connection, we like follow. Those last three were all LinkedIn. Depending on what is working for your client, that's ideally how you're going to reach out. So it's a little convoluted, but what I mean by that is, maybe if you have a clear business email, you can just put them in an email drip, right? You can just reach out, and if they open it, then you know that they've seen your value prop, and bam, enter them into your nurture campaign, which we'll get to next slide. If they don't have an email, but they're open to receiving an in-mail, maybe you hit them via in-mail, right? It's just direct. You want to make sure that they see it, that they see your value prop, they can click through to your profile, which is relevant to them. If they don't have an email or an in-mail, then maybe you're actually trying to get them into your Rolodex, right? And LinkedIn, right? But prioritizing your channels, you want to be careful with this, because I do think, I don't want to get off track, but I think there are changes coming down the pipe with LinkedIn that are going to be really good for the platform, but it's going to limit your connections. So they might start doing something platform wide along the lines of, limiting connections based on a weekly number, not a daily number, right? Just whatever they can do to make that conversation in your online Rolodex more valuable. I think they're aiming for that, as they should be. I think it's going to make the platform much more valuable. But if that's the case, you don't want to go connecting with a bunch of financial advisors and a bunch of accountants and a bunch of lawyers at the expense of connecting with your end target prospect, right? With that HVAC owner, with that business owner in your geographic area. So maybe we'll get into more on this as this evolves, but just keep in mind the channels that you use really matter, and we can keep talking about that. If you're reaching out to a referral prospect, if you have a case study, if you have anything, whether it's a web page or whether it's a video case study or just a sit down Zoom interview that shows how you work with other financial advisors, how you work with other accountants, that's really valuable. When we've seen people take the time to put that together on a web page, it's really nice, and it helps with the referral prospects in terms of getting in front of them and actually enrolling them into a good nurture campaign. The sequence for any campaign that you build, again, short and sweet. Intro, make sure they see it, right? Maybe you'll have a follow-up, but I wouldn't recommend 3 really. If you're doing it the right way, you just want to land that first email. If they don't look at it, maybe you have a follow-up, and then hopefully you've got some sort of lead scoring, and you can have an event-based call task, or you can just, depending on how many people you're actually reaching out to, you can lob in a call task. But that can burn up your time, and especially if you're an intermediary and you're busy with transactions and you're trying to prioritize your time for making calls, I don't advise that you should necessarily be on that call unless it's a very high priority referral prospect. Nurturing. So nurturing for referral prospecting is actually very easy. And I think we really landed last week with the webinar, with the webinar, because that's a great hack for nurturing your referral prospects, right? It's a great way to show, don't tell, right? That's kind of marketing rule 101, show, don't tell. So if you have stated your value proposition to a financial advisor, right? I'm Joe Schmo, business broker, and I help you help your clients exit their companies at, at a premium price so that they can reinvest those assets into the stock market, and you can manage their portfolio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you've delivered that value prop message, then they know who you are, they know what you do. Then if they're enrolled into your nurturing program for your shared end target prospect, right? So for the business owner, if they're included on your newsletter that's directed to the business owners, and you just have a good CTA in there reminding them, we offer generous referral programs, something like that. They're seeing you on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, whatever your schedule is for that newsletter. They're seeing you, they're seeing that brand reinforcement, the brand recognition, but they're also seeing you talking to their end prospect. They're seeing that you have a relationship with their end prospect. So that's a win-win, right? They want to stay in touch. They want to reach out. And when it's relevant, they will. So that's very easy from a nurturing standpoint. If you're doing a webinar, you're doing a newsletter, that's kind of all it takes with the referral prospects. That can be very effective if you're tracking it the right way. Those are my two favorite channels for referral prospects: newsletter, webinar. If you have the time, if you're doing it, if you have some sort of holiday flyer that goes out, that sticks out. We all know it does. That's why people use the snail mail, the drop note for business owners. Think about that in terms of your referral prospects. If you have a holiday flyer, print out an extra 500, right? And just send them out. Make sure that if you're doing advertising, you know about retargeting, you're using retargeting, it's cheap, it's highly effective. It is a great bottom of the funnel strategy. And when it comes to staying top of mind with referral prospects, if you can follow your financial advisors around the internet with a message or branding that's relevant to a financial advisor, it's not intrusive, it's just there, and it's a reminder, and it's brand reinforcement. So big fan of retargeting. Do not ignore that for your nurturing strategy. And then of course, lead scoring, CRM, some sort of time-based sales task. If you can track these prospects, if you know who they are, if you know how engaged they are, ideally you have lead scoring in place that's going to assign you a task when it's relevant, right? So that your time isn't being wasted, but when it's going to really add value, a good old-fashioned phone call, just like a good old-fashioned handwritten note, whether it's from you or your admin, those things go a long way, but should be bottom of the funnel outreach strategies. Finally, with the capture phase of our program, again, lead scoring. Make sure you keep that referral CTA in all of your outreach where it's appropriate, right? So the webinar, the newsletter, on your website, you should have something. If you have a dedicated page, that's probably going to be more for including that link in your outreach campaigns, or as a target destination for your referral advertising. But if you have that referral CTA kind of across your website where it's appropriate, that's going to be valuable. And retargeting with the proper CTA, that just means if you're retargeting financial advisors, make sure that your call to action, right, the reason that they're going to reach out to you is geared towards a financial advisor, right? We help your business owner clients, exit at a great price, right? Or we help your high net worth, liquid clients get liquid. So this is off the cuff, so that's not tight, but you get the point. And then again, good old fashioned snail mail. So on the holidays, if you are sending out that snail mail, maybe you have one that's unique for referral prospects. Highlight your referral prospect, your referral program, et cetera, et cetera. So final tips, the dev feature that we always try to stick to and don't always do a good job of that with BizNexus, but we try. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS. That's what you should be doing for a referral prospect program. Just have good outreach that's tracked, deliver that value proposition, and then dump them into the nurturing program and make sure that you've got the appropriate lead scoring in place. If you do those three, you're going to be way ahead of the majority of the people in this industry. Try to go deep, not wide, right? So once you identify your handful of valuable referral prospects, triple down on that, right? Make sure that they are getting that regular call, right? Make sure that they are getting that unique bottom of the funnel touch, right? Let's go grab lunch. Let's get a coffee and just talk about the industry, get their birthday in your CRM. Whatever you need to do to get that unique bottom of the funnel touch to stay top of mind over time, you can do that with a handful of really valuable referral prospects. Again, go to the IBBA, go to M&A Source, go to any of these industry events, look at the old timers who are just riding off of this with their deal flow. It's really valuable if you can do that. Everyone has time if you prioritize the prospects appropriately, right? And you can leverage lead scoring, you can leverage data to do this. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, after you've gotten in front of them and you've landed your CVP, enroll them into a nurturing program and make sure that you're tracking them the right way. So hopefully that was valuable for you guys. Coming up, we are going to be making those changes that I mentioned. We're going to have more of a community for this kind of thing. It's not just a one-way webinar. It's going to be a presentation with collaboration tools and follow-up docs and tasks and resources, and hopefully much more value for you. Stay tuned for that new invitation. We might be skipping next week. I'll let you know. So there's a very real possibility that it'll be 2 weeks before we invite you into this new setup for the next go round. So if you have recommendations for this next monthly theme, please let us know. You guys have done a great job with doing this at the end of the month and letting us know kind of what you'd like to see changed, what you'd like to see us dig into. If there's anything specific, please, now's the time, because we are going to be making this decision over the course of the next week on what the next monthly theme is. And we're going to be putting a lot more in on the front end in terms of setting that up with this new format. So let us know, guys. Again, if it's not valuable for you, we don't want to do it. So please, also, as we kick back up, you're going to see our newsletter coming out. You're going to see more of the videos that you used to know us for. We're really kicking up with that. We staffed up with that. So spread the word. We're not dead. We have not been crushed by the other large incumbent platforms out there that you all know and love. So we're still here, and we're going to be kicking that up over the next quarter. We're really excited for it. So thanks for supporting us. We'll see you next time, guys. Stay tuned and hope it was valuable.